here. Boop. Woolsden self-promotion. Boop. And some sweet Fallout. Other post. Alrighty. So let me bold check our Twitch. I think it, in theory, should be up. Or YouTube's up. Probably. Yep. I think our YouTube's up, so our Twitch should not be far behind. There we go. Twitch is up. At least it should be. Wally, you looking at? Oh, yeah. What's that?
We're live on Twitch.
Alright, cool. We got some audio?
Say something?
I said we got some audio?
Yes, we do.
Cool. Alright. Welcome everybody to another episode of Jumpchain Villains. Today we are once again looking at Roasted and Diana. As we were talking about, I believe, last week, Roasted was talking about how he wanted to get some blood from Diana and was trying to decide.
Oh, that's right. I also had to go to Johan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he got some information as well from that, from your therapy sessions and stuff. But yeah, so, I believe you, just had your therapy session, middle of the night, talking with Diana. She had you carve off pieces of her limb and throw it into a pit full of supposedly other pieces of her limb, and you're not really sure which one's worse, if it's a demon or her arm.
Mm-hmm.
And you were trying to get blood from her, I believe, yes?
Yeah, like demon blood and see what helps him.
Yep. But yeah, so you're attempting to get some blood, Corn.
Okay. Well, as it is, let's see. When last we left off, you were just discussing things with her.
And after this, he was going to go talk to Johan.
Yeah, and I think she said that by the time that you get back, she'll have it all prepped for you.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, so I was going to go talk to Johan first, and then when I got back, everything would be...
Okay. So you leave to go out to the city. Probably by the time you get there, it's like roughly, 6-ish a.m., I would say, something of that sort, down here at the Idol Agency. It's somewhat early in the morning, because he left in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he looks at the sun, it's like, the morning sun, do grace us with your presence.
But you eventually arrive at the agency as the doors open, as they do for most, and you walk in. I'm assuming you're gonna take the elevator again?
Yep.
Alright,
well, listening to elevator music, looking at watch.
To jump off the building. Yeah, so you eventually get up to the very, very top. Ignore these two. Boop.
Oh my god, Axel, you came here before me.
Yes.
He was already there.
Damn it.
There is, I swear to God, Johan here, and no, I don't. Is he in characters? Nope. Is he in MHA tokens? Nope. He's in maps for some ungodly reason? Nope. Alright, oh, there he is. Johan. Boop. Alright, so you eventually head up the stairs, head up the elevator, and you see him, I assume, just doing some more paperwork, more or less.
Yeah, he just knocks on the wall like, special delivery.
Oh, good.
He walks
He
in.
looks up to you. Let's see, Sin, is this before or after his last appearance in the Heroes thing?
So, this would be, before he goes to see,
Diana.
Now, this would be before Johan goes to see Tanya. This will also be before Axel comes to see him again. So, like, the day before that.
Cool.
Am I interrupting?
Not at all. Just dealing with some more... That gestures loosely at his computer. Paperwork.
can imagine how crazy that can be for you, dealing with that.
Yeah. Keeping up with public images is complicated, but I don't imagine that's what you came here to discuss.
Not all in the slightest. After this, I do have to go to Diana. But I came here because I thought you would might find something interesting that you might be able to use.
Oh, I'm always a fan of that kind of information.
Yes. Do you remember those two kids? The ones that I was sent to, well, me and my team was sent to set up for to find and take them back to Mr. Shadowy Man, whatever his name is.
Yes, I do recall that information.
Apparently, when I did my therapy session with an individual, they're still alive. They're not dead.
Oh. Well,
That's surprising.
more than a bit.
I came to you because I thought you might be able to use this advantage to your advantage as well, since I really have no business wanting to, if that guy ever comes back, to retrieve them. I have no business with that.
Yes, that would be for the best.
So, in return, this is what I thought of when I was talking. You could tell him, and in exchange, he returns you a favor. A win-win situation for you both.
I'm more concerned about what he'll do when he learns about it. From what
I'm
I hear, the
guessing
kid
not.
has...
I'm guessing not very pleasant, huh?
Yeah, the kid has a notable ability.
I don't know their location, and if he does come to me, like I said, I'm not getting involved.
Well, if nothing else, I'll keep this in mind. Let's see, you said that the person themselves in your therapy session confirmed it. How much can you
Yes.
trust their statements?
I have to work on her little by little. Tell me a few pieces of information, and, well, the rest goes on. I have to work up small in order to work up big for now. But she was an interesting individual. She was one of the ones who survived Jack the Stitcher.
Ah, I see.
She had like foxtails or something.
I'll keep that in mind. If I see any fox-tailed girls, I'll make sure to speak with them. I
Yes.
hear that they're surprisingly popular in terms of imagery on the internet as of late.
Still
I
trying to
imagine
get your thing built up.
fair bit. If nothing else, a person who is close to Jack, I wouldn't mind keeping a close eye on them, even if it means taking them on as an employee.
True enough. But maybe I might be able to do a few more therapy sessions with her if the time arises.
Of course. If you should happen to hear that she was offered a position at the Idol Agency, if you're so inclined, you might push her towards contemplating it.
Possibly. But if she does come to this idol agency, I can't be afford to be seen around her.
Do you have no way to disguise yourself better?
Oh, I do. I just used my doctor's outfit, but she's already seen Dr. Galen and, well, my villain outfit while she was unconscious, I think.
I see. If you need
So-
resources for another disguise, I wouldn't mind gathering them. Assuming, of course, that you are able to compensate with duties, which you seem more
Yes.
than capable of.
Yes, I'm able to do that. And, well, I'll see what I can do if you need my assistance for anything.
Of course. I'll be keeping in mind your contribution here as I continue my negotiations with the Shadow Man.
Good luck with him, well, if you know. I really don't know what he's after.
He's approached me for negotiations himself recently. If what he's after is what I believe he's implying it to be, I will say, be careful. There's rumbling going on, and I don't imagine that it's just the approaching UA tournament. Or sports
Of
festival, I should
course.
say.
Of course. But anyway, I'll leave you to your work, and if some situation ever comes up, well, I'll let you know about it.
Of course. Thank you for the
And
information.
if you ever need anybody to spy on, I could send my little friend out to help.
You're just a wellspring of goodwill. Is there anything you'd like as payment for this information on the child?
Not right now. Unfortunately, my looks at the watch. It's almost time for me to receive my treatment from Diana. But
He
if
raises an eyebrow.
anything, I guess
Gutsy
since you know
man.
Diana,
Gutsy man.
it's interesting seeing a like-minded individual such as her. If she wasn't, well, probably in love with what she did, I may be able to date her, but I think my instincts say to back up.
A good instinct.
But anyway, if something comes up, if I need payment for something, I'll let you know. So I leave you to your goodwill and hope the dealings with the Shadow Man goes well.
I hope it as well. Good fortune to you, Persona.
He tips his hat. So, arrivederci.
He gives you a small nod as you leave.
Cool. So, you go on your way, and you eventually head all the way back to Anna. It's probably like it's a good distance away from the area, so probably I don't know, 8:30ish a.m. more or less. As you get back into the thing.
Pizza.
There's a call from inside. Come on in.
He enters the door.
Mhm.
Hope I'm not interrupting.
She is currently holding onto a couple of syringes, examining them carefully. Not at all.
Spooky.
I've already given Johan the information.
Good. Were you able to extract a favor out of him?
I didn't know what favor to ask him, so the favor is still in calling. Even I don't know what I could ask for. There's so many things that I don't know what I would do.
Well, keep in mind that his ability of Ashente can do a lot more than one might expect. I think at one point he mentioned being able to transplant injuries, wounds, illnesses. He's even tested it out. Thanks to another one of his abilities, he can even make deals for souls. Apparently he has an aversion to it, though. Something about the texture.
Ew.
Souls, do they taste yummy or something to him or something?
No. Apparently when they're manifest as raw energy, they have this texture that's disgusting. I wouldn't know, though. I don't deal as much with soul-bound creatures, we'll say.
So,
Have you thought about what sort of element of yourself you'd like augmented? I have a variety of options.
he points to his eyes. My eyes. I need to see more where the enemies are coming.
All right. If we're talking about sensory augmentation, I've got just the one. She holds out a small syringe. An odd auburn... You can't necessarily call it a fluid. Something about it seems off, as you note that when she shifts it, rather than pitching like a fluid, it almost seems to turn gaseous for a moment before resuming in its form.
Intriguing.
Yeah. this substance right here is concentrated. Well, it's not exactly blood. I broke down its composing materials. It's a specific entity known for having incredible ranged combative abilities. To take shots from that distance takes considerable aim. If I were to inject this substance into your eye, then it's likely that it would serve to hyper enhance your own abilities for so long as that eye remains your flesh.
That's very clever.
Yes.
But yes, I will take that. Do I have to be? He then gets ready to, I guess, strip down as they.
Oh God.
No. No need to strip, more strap. You'll want to be held. You'll want to be very careful. When I say injected into your eye, I mean it. I'll be inserting the needle through your pupil into the back region of it in order to perform the injection. It obviously can't all be released simultaneously, otherwise there'd be the issue of expansion. You will not be allowed to blink for 60 consecutive seconds, but I'm sure someone of a jumper's durability should be more than capable of that.
Believe me, I have my own semblance, and things get too hot. I can heal my body back to a certain point.
All right. Be careful about healing around the needle, though. I don't want your flesh to accidentally fuse with the needle.
Oh, I know. It's
Oh.
just my body that my brain needs to calm down.
Of course. Now, lay on the bed. I'll use, for the most part, I use leather straps, unless you'd prefer something stronger. I know Tanya can't be bound by such simple things.
My strength is not the best, so either steel or leather, whichever you prefer.
I'll use a couple metal ones, but it'll for the most part be leather around your torso.
Very well. Let us begin evolution.
It's a rather uneventful build up to it, though when she gets the needle, you note that she wheels out a small construct that is far more steady than her hands could be, as you it's rather uncomfortable to watch the needle descend, and it's the
like
weirdest
the Dead Space
sensation.
thing. It's like the
What?
Dead Space thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as it then slowly sinks in. Oddly, it makes more sound than you'd expect,
Oh.
especially as you notice that when the fluid draws near your eye before even being ejected, it seems to start to thicken, almost coagulate. No longer in a fully gaseous state, it instead seems to recognize a potential host, as the area, what feels behind your eye, almost feels like it's expanding, especially as more and more of the substance slowly trickles out of the needle point into into your skull.
God.
The warmth spreads around rather uncomfortably, and you can almost feel changes to the ocular nerve setting in. Oddly, your grim parasite does not seem to be happy about this, but it's not being harmed in any way.
Mm-hmm.
60 seconds later, she gives a small nod and shifts the device. The other eye now. She replaces the syringe.
Oh, that was a bit nasty.
Don't worry. It's a little bit better on the second one. You at least know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Go.
The needle descends again. It doesn't move any faster, it's the same process, but you note that the more that gets in, your vision begins to shift. At first, the colors around you seem to change. Your vision is odd, it's blurred, and everything with any hint of the color orange in the area seems to begin to almost glow. The lines that the lines that separate objects in your vision seem to fade and blur away, turning more into implications of line as the definition of the objects around you seems to fade away. You lose track of time, and what feels like several minutes later, your eyes begin to set into focus as the needle is slowly extracted. Your vision is odd now. The colors are a bit skewed, but by focusing in on anything nearby, the definition around it seems to grow significantly. Not only that, a warmth has begun to spread through your entire head. Your tongue feels odd, like you're hyper aware of the moisture on it, and the sounds seem a bit louder now. Even your sense of smell is stronger, as the smell of industrial grade cleaning supplies feels more like it's getting into a fight with your olfactory receptors rather than just having been a mildly offensive sense.
Oh, what the hell?
It'll improve in a few minutes. Right now, your body's attempting to incorporate the elements. As a jumper, you're more resilient than most.
Ugh.
I would have suggested at least a week's break in between the two injections to observe, but given that you already have a parasitical life form bordering on demonic inserted inside of your body, it seems I was right to assume that your body has a increased tolerance for such things.
Yeah. Oh. So how long do I have to stay here in order for my body to be battle ready for anything?
The demonic essence itself is compatible with your body. You'll be ready for combat within 15 minutes. But do be warned, for the next 24 hours, it might take a little bit of acclimatization. I don't suggest combat in that region, but
Oh, oh, believe me, I just like to see the stats and the results. I'm not going to go off and fight or anything. I
all
need to
right.
get my body prepared. It's just when you inject something, you need to know like the immediate times and all that when your body is adapted, instead of
Yes.
just going off like a John Wick gun.
I don't recognize the reference, but yes,
It
holding
was
back for now
somewhere.
is for the best.
Yes. But if you need, I guess I'll stay here for a little, for like at least 24 hours. So I'll help you with anything you need me right now while my body is adapting to this.
Well, fortunately for you, you won't be waiting too long. I received word on the inmate that I requested.
Ah,
Conveniently enough for us, it seems that there was one in a position very fortunate for our purposes. Sin,
ah,
Hmm.
how soon is the inmate set to arrive?
So the inmate is so she's sending out the info at the moment. So probably within the next couple of days. So shouldn't be too long of a
Ah,
wait. Yeah.
shouldn't be too much longer after you finish your recovery that you'll be able to begin your own research.
yes. In the meantime, since I've given Johan the information, what do you think, in your opinion, since I'm referring to your judgment, you know Johan a lot more than I do. What do you think would be a best trade-off now that I've given him this thing, this information?
Well, with his ability of Ashente, there's a considerable amount that you could request. I had half a mind to make a request myself, but I'd rather not owe him. She kind of takes looks at her hands. I
Ah,
suppose the best option would be, well, if you can find anyone with a quirk that particularly attracts your interest, Ashente should be able to grant you it for the duration of this lifetime. It'll
hmm,
likely be stripped away since it wasn't purchased appropriately during this world, but at least for the purposes of this jump, you might be able to accumulate all sorts of abilities,
hmm.
depending on who you're willing to steal the livelihood of, if such things concern you.
There are probably many quirks, but I need to find one that beneficiates me. I've got one that focuses on the emotional spectrum, which only work when I need it. And again, it's uncontrollable. So I need to find one that could benefit me in battle. I've already got the Grim Parasite, and thanks to your science, my eyes, I'll have to see what else is able to acquire. Meantime,
Yeah. Given the relative short notice, I imagine it'll be difficult to find someone with a particularly beneficial quirk. But who knows? Our benefactors work in often mysterious ways.
hmm but anyway, I guess I'll help out around while my body is adapting.
Of course, I have a certain pile of flesh that needs experimenting with. I'll go extract it myself. You sit there. But I'm sure that your parasite should do well enough for the carving process. No need for the buzzsaw today.
Very well. He puts his finger up, and out comes a grim parasite in the shape of like a needle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to science. Bill Nye.
Bill Nye
So,
the
Sin,
Science Guy.
what's next on the agenda?
So next, as we are looking at, as you are doing that, Roasted, we're going to be looking at Ron here. Ron is currently inside of the other building. Do I seriously not have Dokua on here? I guess I don't. Okay, well, how do I not have these things? Alright, I don't know. Okay, anyways, so, yeah, Mr. Ron, you are currently inside of the office of, the president guy. For some reason, that's not clearing up.
Maybe the principal?
Yeah, could roll 20. Could you clear up? Well,
I mean, I see it.
it's very fuzzy for me.
Try zooming out and zooming in.
Oh, there we go. Now it fixed by itself. Cool. Yeah, so you were talking with the principal, whom I'm just going to use this picture for, because I don't apparently have the principal's thing on this computer. So I'm going to use this picture for it, because, well,
You keep using different computers.
yeah, I know, right? It's hard to keep track of everything. But yeah, I'll use that picture for now, which is technically Rush's outside, but that's okay. And I'll have you sit in this chair here as you walk in. Obviously in your business suit kind of an outfit rather than the other one.
Yes.
Mhm.
Strictly business.
Yep. So you walk up with him as you know he invites you to sit down and whatnot. You all talking about business matters for the most part, talking about like potentially introducing your air quote child into the school, some of the difficulties they've had. Obviously, he's going to need to get some test records in order to be able to see where his skill level is. General things like that. Just kind of pushing the envelope, so to speak. Dollhouse. Probably around now, I would say, would be when you finish the talk with Rogue. And I'm assuming that you have gone to this place as like a short stop before going to with Mr. Torque.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's in the wheelchair right now, so.
Yep. So Mr. Torque probably stay outside waiting for you to make some babies together.
Hey, blame Mr. Torque for the wording, not me.
Yeah.
I choose to blame you both.
As Dollhouse enters the room, wish to God I.
Dollhouse and Dollhouse is right there. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, where? There he is. Boop. Wait, this is the wrong picture. Why is this the wrong picture on? I don't understand why that's the wrong picture, but okay, I guess. Mr. Me, I'll just use this non-shirt first. There we go. Yeah. Because I apparently cannot get one with borders. That's alright. There we go. He's not lounge him on the couch.
Just rolls in his wheelchair. What's the name of the principal again?
Dokua. Yeah.
He doesn't even know.
He looks
Just
out
rolls
to
in.
you. It's like, Mr. He's gonna refer to you as James. Mr. James. This is one of our assistant counselors here. We usually use him as assistant teacher as well, but he helps out the counselors as well. James, this is Mr. Ron. What's your fake name? Did you just go with Axel?
Yeah, he's still
Okay.
calling him.
Yeah. This is Mr. Axel. He's interested in bringing his son into the school. It's a little bit out of customary for us, but considering the public look at us at the moment, it's good to make connections where we need to, you know?
Fair enough, Dokua. He kind of, his eyes trail to you, Ron. Do you remember that his face does constantly change, though the
Yep.
wheelchair thing is kind of the one
Yeah.
Mhm.
considerable.
Ron
Uh,
looks completely different to a remarkable degree than the last time we saw him, but the scar on his cheek is completely recognize. It's a very muted version because it's a lot of makeup on it, but it's still very noticeable to you specifically. So it is in fact him, although you can see why Dokuo did not recognize him in the first place.
I see. I see you're in a meeting. My apologies. I just came by to hand you some papers.
He nods. It is no problem. It is good to. We're showing him some of the campuses and kind of pushing the envelope, so to speak. So it's good to meet a teacher like you in order to get him acclimatized with the situation, you know? I wish to put all of his worries at ease, considering the recent public affairs.
It
That's
has,
fair.
it has,
And your name, sir, as Dollhouse's eyes shift back to Ron's character.
Mm-hmm.
you may call me Gus. You may call me Axel.
Well, Mr. Axel, your son, I believe it is. I've already met him. Nice boy. Uh, should be in safe hands here as long as he doesn't cause trouble, or at
Good.
least too much. Each young, impressionable quirked and unquirked child has bits and pieces that have to be buffered out in time, as any teacher should do. Help them learn and to adapt to their abilities properly so they aren't harming themselves or others unintentionally.
I so heartily agree with you, Mr. James. It is good to know that my son will have a bright future here at your academy.
Yes, very much. As Dollhouse kind of wheels over to Dokua's thing,
Mm-hmm.
like grabs his shoulder with his arm. It's a mole.
His eyes kind of like flicker for a second before they return back to normal. Ron, roll me a sense to see if you notice the flicker of his eyes. It was very subtle. You did not. He looks to just be passing some papers over to him, like I said he was.
Now, uh, sorry, I need to get going. I'm dealing with another student and his love of grenades. By the way, I found a way to make his grenades less constantly dangerous. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
make a
make
silly
a sticky baby.
we're gonna make a sticky grenade made of silly string, and
Wait,
hope he doesn't find a way to make it flammable.
wait, you allow students to have open firearms in the school?
Not firearms. He custom makes explosives. I think it has something to do with his brain's
Oh,
natural
God.
reaction to assistance tools.
Ah,
Yes,
well,
our
as long as you're all sure that you guys can keep him under control and he's not a danger to the other students.
is of no worries. He is a very impressionable child, but thankfully he is a interesting one. All of his, he makes air quotes, babies are well accounted for, and we have many safety precautions in place if he decides to throw them around. So it is no worries.
Right.
Mhm.
Anyway, I have to get going. I'll. He kind of looks at you, Axel. I'll see you around sometime, possibly. Maybe I can give you updates on your son when he's here at school from a teacher's perspective.
Oh, yes, that would be very. I would be very grateful for that. Thank you. He gets up and he walks over to shake your hand. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. James.
Likewise, but sadly my hand seems to be on a bit of a fritz. As he lifts his hand and it just falls back down, it seems like I may have exhausted my arm for the moment.
Oh, is there? If you don't mind me asking, what actually happened to you? Were
Got
you?
hit by a truck.
Oh, I had heard recent tales about a bunch of heroes getting hurt dealing with a rogue serial killer, so to speak. Assuming maybe you were one of them.
No, no, no. I'm just a teacher, sir. Heroes, I may help students realize their goals as a hero, but I'm just a simple teacher in the end. I don't have that kind of luck. If anything, my quirk is luck based.
I
That
got
bug seems to
hit
follow me
by a
everywhere.
truck.
Well, considering you were hit by a truck and the worst thing that seems to have happened is a broken arm, I would say your quirk is
He's
very...
in a wheelchair.
I mean, look, they put people in wheelchairs for less, okay?
I mean, that's true. I mean,
I'm also unable to move my legs, but thank you for the concern, sir. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work, and hopefully I can be of some assistance to your son and his development into his quirk and his
Yeah,
values.
his quirk can be rather chaotic, unfortunately.
Hmm.
You would be hard pressed to try to figure out how to work it. I've had some of the top people kind of help him out, but it just seems that nothing works. So I thought maybe if I go a little bit more low key, it might something might happen.
Well, if it's any constellation, I've worked with many at this point. I'm sure I can find a way to be at least of some assistance. I'm a teacher after all, and that's my pride and joy.
But
Doko
yeah,
nods
the
as
principal
well.
says that.
Hmm?
But it's funny you call yourself a teacher, even though you aren't actually part of the faculty.
I'm an assistant, of course. I help as best I can, and I'm a counselor of type. I'm here off and on whenever I'm not, filing papers for the school as a person who stays on the lower end of things.
We do not
Also,
like to
I'm registered in
permanently.
the faculty. My name's is my name is James.
Hmm.
I'm registered in the faculty, my young friend. Or have you not been doing the best type of research?
Well, it's just that the principal says that you aren't exactly a full teacher, so to speak. You're
He's
more
I'm
the
an
of a-
assistant.
Well, if it would be alright, because so far I seem to have only met assistant teachers. I would like to meet a proper teacher, if it's alright with you.
Oh yeah, we have. He's the assistant teacher to one of our primary teachers, Iku. His quirk is actually to specialize in understanding to a fundamental degree the person's intentions and their quirks themselves. So we use him very often in order to fully understand and then work on people's quirks when we need to. So
He seems like someone that would be rather interesting to get my son around.
is a very difficult quirk to use, and he's been attempting to fully understand it for many years. But being in the school and helping so many different types of students, like your son, for example, allows him to be able to realize that quirk to higher potential. And so, with your son, he should be able to understand it as best he can, and then be able to work on improving it with your son and understanding the fundamental degrees behind it as well.
Yes.
If you like to, we can go and meet him.
Yes, that would be most helpful. Thank you. I would like to at least know some of the people that will be helping out.
He nods as he stands up. James, you should probably
Yes.
go along with, Mr. Torque, I believe, in order to...
Yes. Again, we were going to make him I guess, a distraction tool. Regardless, you have a wonderful rest of your time here, and Doku, please be careful. You never know what's going on these days. Make sure not to get hit by a student by accident. Again, as he wheels out of the room.
I always try my best.
You have many problems with troublesome students, I assume?
Just the fate of the lock, unfortunately. Having no quirk myself, it's sometimes difficult to not get hit by a stray projectile, so to speak, like
My.
a football flying through the air.
My, small world after all. I happen to be quirkless myself.
I see. I assume that your son takes after his mother, then?
Oh yes, very much so. She's rather a right firecracker, that one.
Aren't they all?
Quite so. Although some people seem to say I lie about not having a quirk, considering my intuition when it comes to good business.
Well, as they say, if you don't got a quirk, you gotta make do with what you have.
Of course.
Mhm.
So I use my devilish good looks and my charm to my advantage, at least.
It's always good to make friends in many places.
That it is. That it is.
Anyways, he gestures for you to walk out the door with him.
By the way, this Mr. Talk, is he also a teacher by any chance?
No, he's one of our students. He's here in order to learn how to properly be a hero, so to speak. He was one of those we found more or less while we were going against the rogue serial killer. We found him and he seemed um, without guidance, shall we say. So we're giving him a bit of guidance here, seeing if we can make him a good hero out on the field.
That'd be alright. I would like to also meet a few of the students, or at least sit in one of the classes.
Oh, that's no problem. That's no problem. We have a free day tomorrow, so we won't be able to unfortunately do it tomorrow. But the day after, you're more than welcome to come by and sit in on one of the classes. See how your son is accustoming himself to it, and meet some of the students if need be as well. We don't
Yes.
often let teachers on the premises. Sorry, we don't often let parents on the premises for too long. As you can imagine, the having a parent there might put some of them off ease, so to speak.
Yes, well, it's not that I need to sit into the class itself. I would be more than happy to stay outside and looking into the window. I just want to see how, I guess you could say, structured your schoolings are.
Hmm. He nods. Well,
Not
come
you.
by in 2 days, and I'll be more than happy to have you come by and watch some of our activities and make sure that your son is getting the proper training that he is requiring.
Of course, of course. I
Hmm.
have put my son through some of the most prestigious schools there are out there, and I have looked at every single one of their routines, so to speak.
Hmm.
So I felt like, if something of high society can't help my son, maybe going a little lower down the ladder might help.
Well, we're not the most prestigious school in the world as is, but we are trying to climb the ranks, so to speak.
But I
We're.
have to admit, you do have a homely feel to it. It's a lot
Mhm.
more inviting than, say, UA Academy.
UA is a very nice place, but it can be difficult. Speaking of which, actually, in 2 days, you'll actually be able to meet some people from UA. We have a special guest coming by in order to kind of give a pep talk, so to speak. So maybe you'll find a common acquaintance there. He gives you a nice smile.
Of course, of course.
Sweat drop.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I will go to meet a few acquaintances along the way.
Mhm.
Although I haven't really spent much time at UA, I took one look at the place and realized it might be a little bit too much.
Is
As you have seen, my son doesn't exactly take to my type of business.
mhm.
He'd rather be in his own room screaming to the heavens.
Yes, teenagers, am I right?
Yes, teenagers. Though, how are we to complain? We were young ones too, am I right?
That is very true, my good sir. So the he brings you out, has you talk to Iku, who's a very nice gentleman. He's very kind, and his quirk does activate a couple of times with some people generally around him as he kind of demonstrates it for you. Basically, I explained to you some fundamentals of some people's quirks, like Risa specifically. He uses as a guide, I guess.
Yeah.
But also Octopus Lady. He shows her quirk as well, explain to you fundamentals behind that in order for you to understand it from a counselor's perspective. But the day draws to an end. They have a funeral service as well for the student, of which you know as Washi. And then the day kind of ends. People start going back homes and stuff like that. And they'll move us to the city here. I assume at this point, Rogue explains to you that he's going to be going to Mr. Torque's house, actually, to kind of camp there more or less,
Right,
close
yeah,
to
of course.
Mugen Academy. Hmm? Someone say something?
So, no,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought I
So
heard
then that
noise.
means that my guy basically has free reign to kind of do as he pleases.
Go pretty much aim where you wish. I assume that you're going outside of Mugen at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely moving away from Mugen.
All
now
right.
that he has no much else to do, UA is actually kind of making him slightly interested,
Mhm.
especially considering the UA how it's going that they're going to be there 2 days from now at Mugen.
Mhm.
It might be best to try to go and get some info from UA so he can better create his new persona.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So that is across the ways over here. Actually, let me over there on the top left there. It doesn't move all the way. That's annoying. It's one thing Foundry has in this doesn't. But it is pretty much across the ways there. You're welcome to try going over there if you wish. You do have
Yeah,
quite a lot of
you're gonna
stamina. All right. So as you
you're gonna
start walking, roll me sense.
since
Woof.
my rolls are not doing good today.
Yeah, you're completely sunken in mind. You're purely focused on the task ahead. You're not even thinking about the things around you. Dollhouse, tell me what you're doing.
So this is what, end of the day?
Yeah, end of the day, pretty much, I would say like, 6 p.m. ish after the funeral rites, everything like that. Your downtime,
Yeah,
Mr.
but
Tour.
remember also the same day Dollhouse has that thing with Sophia.
Yep, yep. Um, yeah, that
So
thing I
roughly
think was like
later than
midnight
that.
is when you'd be going there. Um,
Yeah, but again, that's after. Again, he would start following Ron around,
mhm.
or he would follow Ron to a place after dealing with Sophia.
Fair, fair.
Since his thing is a bit more oriented.
Alright, so as you're walking along, nothing seems to really happen more or less. Do you just go straight there, or are you deciding to like take some detours or anything like that? What you plan on doing?
Well, I would give it a roll of the dice to see if anything would happen to catch his eye.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any plans for something,
Alright.
so roll like a chance to see.
Yeah. Let me. I'll roll d20 for you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I almost like not 20. I was like, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to think of something. So you're walking along. Let's see. Who could you interact with here? Depending on where you are at the moment, you're kind of walking across town. There's honestly not a whole lot of people for you to be interacting with at the moment. Honestly, you picked the one time to go UA. I wasn't expecting you to.
Well, if schools are letting out,
Mhm.
there's a chance he could probably run into maybe a main character from the anime.
Ooh, that could be interesting. Okay, so you are wandering. I assume you go across the water at this point. You do have quite a bit of speed on you. You also have your suit on you, so you probably make very good time all the way over to UA. I would say probably less than half an hour, maybe an hour. It is a half day for Mugen, so it's actually a full day for everywhere else, specific because of things here. So by the time you actually do manage to get to UA proper, it is going to be letting out some students. Don't mind the people on here at the moment. It's fine. Don't worry about
Good
it.
old
It's okay.
UA.
So one student that you do actually interact with, namely because as you are at UA, I don't know where your picture is. Where? Oh, right, because you're in the hero section. There you are. As you're walking out of UA, as you're attempting to walk around UA, this tiny, bubbly cat girl with a witch hat is running at top speed and slams into you like a freaking brick train. Whoops! Sorry about that. Whoo! I did not see you there. I apologize. Are you okay, Mister? Are you okay? Did I hurt you? I didn't mean to hurt you. You okay?
No, I am fine. Just watch where you're going in the future. You don't want to happen to run into a villain by any chance.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah. Who are
a
you?
villain would be around a hero school.
I know, right? They could be anywhere. Although there have been a lot of kidnappings as of late, so it probably would be good to be on edge.
Granted, I have
Hmm.
been hearing about that. Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
he gets up and he dusts himself off, and besides, no harm, no foul. Nice to meet you, though.
Nice to meet you too. She holds out her hand. My name's Sai.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? He
Sai.
goes to shake it. Say.
Yeah, Sai. Say Mitamaya. Wait, hold on. I don't know how to say this name. Da ba da 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 da. that name.
Sei Mitama.
Say Mitama.
Mitama. Say Mitama.
Mhm.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Axel Dusk.
It's a pleasure
Forgive
to meet
my,
yours too. Although I don't know you very well, and you're probably a stranger. Kind of odd to be talking to you,
Yes,
but it's
yes.
okay.
Well, but here's the thing, though. You're also a stranger to me, so I have no idea what you might be doing.
That is true. You don't know. I could be a mysterious figure out in the wind.
Yes, that too. I was actually on my way to UA to kind of take a look around at the place.
Oh.
Are you a student of UA?
Yes, I am a student at UA actually. I am part of the Hero class.
Well, if you would be so kind, could you introduce me to the principal of UA?
Sure. She immediately turns on her heel and starts walking forwards. You do notice that her cattail is wagging quite fiercely, and also the cat ears, which is not an uncommon thing to be seen, but is a weird quirk. Also, the fact that she's holding a stick, like, she's an ancient wizard or something.
So, what happens to be your quirk? I assume it has something to do with the cat extremities.
I'm actually a multi-quirk user. So I have these cat tails and the cat ears because I'm a cat person. She starts spinning her stick, but I also can do other things. As she just continues to spin her stick.
multi-quirk.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe I've ever heard of those before.
Well, it's not very common, and usually it's from marriages and stuff like that. But sometimes you get when it's not. My mother was a cat person, and my father could control elements to a degree. Although he could only control a couple of them. And then my one mostly focused on my stick. She pulls out her stick too, stopping twirling it. I
Well,
like my
that's
stick.
pretty good.
It's very hard to focus on my element quirk without the stick, If I don't have the stick, then it can end kind of badly, and usually involves people getting hurt. I don't really like that, so I keep the stick on me wherever I am.
That's good. That's good. Yes.
You should meet my friend Hone.
Hone?
Yes, yes, Hone, Hone, Hone. She just starts running at the building, screaming the name Hone.
And Axel's just wide-eyed. He's like, "Are all the people in this place wackos?"
She eventually starts running back to you with what looks to be a
Fucking
yes, this is
Naruto
from
character.
Naruto, yes. What looks to be a very tired looking dude. He's wearing a odd getup, but he is walking much slower than she is, and he just looks exasperated as she stops in front of you. This is my friend Hone.
Hound. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Hound. Your friend here says a lot about you, mostly your name.
He bows to you with a very small smile. It's a Hone, not Hone.
Hone. My
Mhm.
bad.
Hone
I am
Kotsuzui.
Kotsuzui.
I believe that's how you say
Might
that.
actually be Kotasui. Yeah, it's Kotasui.
Yeah, Kotosui. Hon Kotosui. Mm-hmm. Who might you be exactly? And
I am Axel Dusk. I am actually here to kind of take a look around UA, And I just recently moved to town and stuff, and though I do know that the schools recently just started, but I was wondering if they would make an exception for me, new to the area and stuff.
Oh, I would have to bring you to the principal. He, I believe, is in his office right now, if I remember correctly. The school is going out at the moment, so most of the teachers are also going home for the night, as well as the students. If you just head into the building, go to the top floor and to the back, you should find our principal.
Right. Well, I think, but might I suggest you get some sleep, my friend? You seem dead tired.
Well, when you deal with her, he gestures to Sai as she is hopping up and down like a bunny on steroids, speed and crack at the same time. Every day as your teammate, you get very tired.
He kind of leans down and he whispers to him. He's like, "Have you tried a baseball bat?"
Unfortunately, she just
I'm
gets
not a
back
monster.
up. Um, but yeah, so he just kind of shrugs and is like, maybe one day. Anyways, I had to take her home for the night, or she is never going to get home because she'll be dancing at every single bush along the way. The bushes are my friends!
It was a pleasure to meet the both of you, but yes, I need to go talk to the principal.
He bows, as you start heading inside.
Mhm.
Corn, you want to take over the mouse dude? I don't actually know what the mouse dude's like, so...
Yeah, I haven't watched in a while. I'm afraid if you want a canon character, you'll have to do it.
Alright, in that case, actually, we'll have All Might pop in.
I was actually hoping it would be All Might, because if I'm right, doesn't he actually take over?
He's not principal, but he is a guy
I
you
mean,
talk
he
to a
might
lot.
well be principal the way that the show makes him out in the
I know, right?
school.
Corin, do you know how to do All Might? You probably can do him better than I can.
Sin, what did I just say about
Well, you
canon
know,
characters?
but he's a big Kang character. You want you good with All Might? Hmm.
No.
All right.
So we're going with like
Like-
the principal of the school, Nezu. He was more of like
Isn't-
eccentric, polite, and he was always sophisticated in a way.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, I'm terrible at that. But let's say as you're walking up to the principal's office and stuff like that, you do manage to head almost to the top of the area, roughly up to the doors. You're not quite sure where you're going in this area, but it seems to be relatively straightforward, as getting to principal's office should be. Before the door opens, and you see All Might standing there looking at you. Why, hello.
Holy shit!
He looks small, actually.
He's small,
Oh.
Might.
Yeah, he's not in his like big giant outfit. His eyes are sunken. His hair is
Yeah, he's the.
floppy.
I know. I've
Yeah.
seen the thing. He's basically the opposite version of himself. So
Yep.
the thing is like, but so instead I take it back. Ah, shit!
Oh, language, young man, language. We are in
I am
school.
so sorry, sir. I was not prepared. I am so deadly sorry.
He kind of straightens up and like puts his hands to his hips, which normally would look rather heroic and dramatic, and now it just looks kind of terrifying, honestly. He's like, yes, my appearance does do that to some people. It's not delivering, is it?
And you are who again? Are you the principal?
He holds out his hand. I am All Might. I know I don't look exactly like I used to, unfortunately, but this is in fact me.
He goes to shake his hand. Wow, very underwhelming considering the legends.
Yes, I do apologize. I assume you have not seen any of the news as of the last couple of months, then?
Well, other than the recent attack of Jack the Stitcher, no.
I made a public announcement a few months back before UA school started. Unfortunately, I've stepped down from being the #1 hero, and I am now a teacher here to guide the next generation of heroes to take my place.
Huh. Then who is the #1 hero currently then?
That would be Endeavor.
Oh yeah, just deliver that with none of the energy of all the rest.
And I'm sorry, but yeah, I just recently moved into town. Who is Endeavor? I don't really know much of the superhero scene currently.
Yeah, he raises his eyebrow at you, clearly kind of surprised. Endeavor is a man who fights with fire in his heart and on his face, and everywhere. He's a good man, although very angry, but a good man.
It would be interesting to meet this Mr. Endeavor, but until such a time, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Might.
It was a pleasure to make yours as well. I assume that you're here to talk with the principal about a matter?
Yes, to an extent. I wanted to see if there was probably any openings at UA.
Unfortunately, we don't have any openings aside from the entrance exam. We do hold it every year though, so if you would like to bring your child around, or even come yourself if you.
Well, I was actually expecting to put myself in. You see, I have a relatively interesting quirk, as you can kind of tell.
He
It
looks
also
over you.
it also kind of unfortunately gives me the symbolism of that. Every time people see me, they think I'm a villain.
Ah, yes. We have a couple of pro heroes like that, like Orca, for example. He is the top rated on the. He kind of like looks, I guess, at his phone. Maybe he would have one. Yeah.
Why
What was it?
wouldn't the
It's
top
the
superhero phone?
what newspaper was it? What new? He was like he's looking at his phone. What newspaper? I apologize. I'm not as tuned in to the youths, as they say these days. I was being told about it from one of my students earlier today. Orca was on top of a newspaper of some sort. So heroes look most like villains, so to speak. I was trying to find the newspaper so I could show you, but
That's, but it just gives me a little bit of hope that know that there are other heroes out there who unfortunately have the unfortunate side effect of looking like villains.
don't you worry, young man. No matter what you look like, you can aspire to be the greatest hero that one can see. Although we normally don't take students of your age.
Ah, well, unfortunately, I haven't really had the best chance to, you know, experiment with my quirk, so to speak. You know.
Ah, well, maybe the principal will have more words for you inside. Feel free to go in. I have to attend to some other matters at the moment. If you wish to find me again, I will unfortunately not be here in a couple of days, as I will be going on a traveling aspect in a couple of days.
All right. Well, it was nice to meet you, Mr. Might.
It was good to meet you too. He holds out his hand again. I
Oh,
didn't catch your name.
he hits his hand to his head. Sorry, I kind of got a little starstruck, you know, meeting All Might and all that. Shakes his hair. You can call me. Okay, one moment as I actually try to think of another name.
Mm.
Um. What was the name of the guy from Prototype 2?
Helen, Keller.
No. I just remembered it. You may call yeah. Yes. You know, I get excited meeting All Might apparently, but yes, you may call me Heller.
Heller. Oh, it was good to meet you, Heller. I hope that.
Foreign name.
Hmm?
Given that it's, Japan. It's a foreign name.
Ah,
Neat.
interesting.
Well,
You're.
remember,
Yeah.
he just moved to town, so
Oh, where do you come from, sir?
I come from the east.
Ah, it was good to meet you. I have had many travels over there. It was a very fun time.
Yes, considering you named most of your attacks from the United States, and your whole everything was based around it. You seem to have enjoyed that place a little bit. Then
He stands up straight again, putting his hands on his hips, which, actually, now that you're kind of getting used to his horrifying form, is starting to have a little bit more of a radiance of passion and stuff that you weren't really able to accept earlier. Yes, the United States of America is a good place to be. It's fun. And they also have delicious food. Have you had some of that food? Man, good stuff.
yes, I have had some of their foods, even though I come. You see, my parents were born in America, but I was currently born in England, so I am
Huh.
technically English, while also having an American accent, which is where that came from.
Ah, very
They told
interesting.
me about the food there. I mean, it makes you wonder why else would Americans be so overly weight when they have such good food at their fingertips all the time.
That is true. All right. He shakes your hand before nodding to you and continuing to and being like, well, best of luck to you. If you ever become my student, I will teach you everything I can.
Right.
Mhm.
I hope the time comes. Though, considering what you're saying, you might have to wait a year for that. Then.
He nods. Be it 1 year or 10, teaching students is what I live for. He then begins to walk away.
Alex watches him. Axel watches him. I mean, as he leaves, and when he's out of earshot, he's like, "God, he was annoying."
Ouch.
No, but that's just me in general. Actually, I thought that All Might was kind of, he's kind of annoying, pushing his stuff down your throat all the time.
Well, at least I'm bringing a semblance of All Might to this thing we're doing here.
Oh no, that's not on you, Sin. That's just on the character itself.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm
But
bringing,
anyway,
I'm matching him well enough to make you at least have some characteristic of him, because I'm doing a terrible job otherwise.
you're very much doing a terrible job.
Ah, don't
Although,
worry.
although you kind of actually got it perfect when he's in that form because he's very low key when
Mhm.
he's like that. It's only when he buffs up that he starts getting his bombastic personality.
Mhm. Which you notice he was trying to do several times, just didn't quite have the same feeling to it.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah. So I'm assuming you walk in the doors after that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that obviously since All Might himself already said that it's pretty much impossible, we can kind of just
Yeah, pretty much. You kind of talk with him. He explains to you that the entrance exams are at the start of every school year to make it so everyone has the same chances. You have to go past the written test as well as the physical test. Usually they don't get people roughly your age, but that's because most people your age don't apply to things. But if you do wish to join, you will have to pass those tests and then have to pass the entrance exam. And if you do, they'd be more than happy to accept you.
all right. And with
Yep.
that, he says his goodbyes and he leaves.
All right, cool. So the day kind of passes by as you start heading back to the area, getting some information about how UA works, getting to meet All Might, getting to meet some of the students as well. As the day kind of ticks over and stuff like that. At this point, Roasted is currently helping Diana with her tools or sleeping, depending on which one favors his fancy a little bit.
Probably by helping her, in all honesty.
Just kind of passing the time more or less so your eyes can get adjusted to the hell you're putting them through. And so the day kind of passes. Dollhouse helps Sophia.
Roughly,
Huh?
if Ron's character's still out around like 1 or 2 a.m., because if I'm helping her at midnight,
Well, yeah, because now he's never had a chance to just kind of be himself currently. So he's just he doesn't really know what to do. So he's just wandering aimlessly.
so
So you help her out, which if you guys want to see him helping her out, go check out our Heroes episode next week at Tuesdays, 6 p.m. PST. But yeah, so you're just kind of wandering around aimlessly, probably like 2-ish, 3-ish in the morning, more or less. You're a little
And
bit...
by now, he's dropped all disguises as he's just the person he is underneath all of the disguises. So he's just kind of walking around like a person.
Okay.
For someone who tends to wander and tries to hide, you're very bad at it. I guess that's my fault.
We'll do... Which room shall we put you guys at? We'll do Night Streets. There we go. Ignore the person in place here. Ignore that woman on the side there, which is pretend.
Dollhouse over her.
That would be cool.
There we go. Yeah.
Got that ass.
There we go. Yeah. Just blocking that
That's
ass.
student's supposed to be resting by now. Though I guess your brain's not exactly working, right?
I'm
My bad.
sorry. Who are you?
Oh, come on. Did my comments over Buck really hit that deep?
I'm sorry. Who are you referring to?
You, Scarface.
I'm sorry. I have no idea who you are.
The smile gets very wide. Oh, really? I put you in the ground about a week ago.
Hmm.
And your own stupidity has led you down a road of Axel, was it? Mr. Onyx?
Oh, you see him kind of like put his hand over his face. Don't tell me, was it Ron that did something to you too?
Oh, come on, you don't remember this mug as the face turns into a doll. Come on now. You're smarter than that. And I
So
taught you better to hide yourself. Come on, makeup, really? To hide the scar? I get that you were not the brightest in the bunch, but your mechanical understanding is flawless at best. Come on now. Jump taught you something, didn't she?
so you literally just show him the doll form.
Mm-hmm.
He
Oh,
shows you the face before switching it back and just sits there with his hands in his pocket. He's standing perfectly fine. And he's like, oh, come on. So,
Mm-hmm.
ugh,
he just he drops the thing and he lets the stuff collect over him to be Axel Dust's form now.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Jane, I presume you.
no, he didn't look the same. He looks like the actual dollhouse now. Beforehand, his face
Ah,
was different.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
my bad.
Again,
So,
remember, he does change his face constantly, and he very rarely uses his actual face.
Yep.
okay, so
It's a
then yeah,
common thing.
you can see the fury setting in his eyes right now. So, your dollhouse then.
Mm. Yep, and you're the thing that Moron made to hide himself away from his mistakes.
I have no idea what you mean by that. All I know is that I have a seething disgust for you, and I have no idea why. Please tell me.
Dollhouse looks at you. I dissed your best friend who you got killed.
Oof.
I sat there and brought out the worst in you as a teacher so I could build you up to be a better person. Obviously, it had the opposite effect, and that's on me. So, Mr. Axel, or Onyx, depending. To be fair, could Axel be considered a break? What do they call it when a word isn't really the word, but it's something similar?
Syn-
Say what?
Synonym?
synonym?
Yeah.
Synonym, kind of.
Mhm.
Bastardization. There it
Mm.
is. Bastardization of the word Onyx to Axel to some degree. I thought I taught you better to at least some degree, that you did stay in school and actually listen to your teacher for once. I insulted your friend. I constantly tried to break you down to some degree. Blame the military upbringing. Uh, hmm. Oh, I slammed you into the ground after you did something without telling your teacher that could have killed you or gotten even worse. You tortured to a certain degree. You tried to peck out my eye with that little bird thing that you had. I slammed you into the ground. We yelled at each other, and I passed out from blood loss because I had ripped apart my own body trying to get to you so that I can maybe protect you from getting killed by the villain's team. And instead, you end up like this. That's my best guess. Either way, I doubt Buck would much care. He was not much of a hero himself.
You can notice the line going from his face down to at least what you can assume would be further down, but it stops as his shirt.
So, what would you like to do about this unseething rage, young man? Because as a teacher, it is my job, as your teacher, as he points straight at you, it is my job to deal with a young man's outbursts, so to speak.
Oh, my friend. These are no mere outbursts. I do want to see your face caved into the fucking pavement right now. But is it true? Where are you still so broken right now?
Me?
Can you put up a good fight?
I'm standing, aren't I?
Yes, but I want you at your 100%.
Dalhart walks up to you with his hands in his pockets. Son, I would kill you at 100%. You don't deserve that kind of treatment. You're a student acting out, not some villain. I don't consider you a villain. I consider you an idiot. As he headbutts you.
Oh my god.
So let me be clear, young man. If you want me to 100%, do me a favor. As Dollhouse puts strings in the size of a target, give me your best shot in my chest and I'll maybe consider it. And you better be aiming to kill me.
Jesus Christ.
You see part of it, the the gauntlets
Mhm.
remold themselves into like a spear almost.
Mhm.
Gladly, as he charges at you, aiming directly at your chest.
Oh my god.
He doesn't move.
He doesn't move in the slightest, and you just shunk right into him like freaking through butter.
Would you like your next lesson now?
Oh, trust me, I'm not done just yet. As he activates one of the canisters for electricity to zap.
Dollhouse
Oh.
don't move. He takes it all.
Oh god. You can smell the burning flesh from the electricity coursing through his body.
So, you done yet?
What are you?
Me?
Yes.
Better than you.
Question number one as he grabs your head with one of his hands. Which side of me is human? Or rather, which side of me is true? The human or the doll?
Considering the doll seems to be your quirk, I would say the doll is your true self.
He rams his head in
God.
tears as he deepens himself on your arm. Wrong. What is a jumper?
I have no fucking clue.
You are. Your weird abilities that aren't actually quirks and that can't be picked up by someone, like the man who was actively looking at you and was detecting quirks and explaining them to you. He was
Yes.
detecting yours as well, and he couldn't find one. That means none of this is a quirk. You are what's considered a jumper, young man. Question number 2. Who is Onyx?
That I actually legit have no clue. All I know is of the second that's in my head called Ron. I have never heard of
Good.
anybody
Then
named
he's done playing games. Ron, who is that?
I wish I knew, because I would love to not be in his shadow.
Wrong answer as he headbutts you
God.
again, shoving himself even deeper at your past your elbow at this point.
You know, you're really starting to piss me off here.
As he's just staring at you. One last question. Why did I willingly let you impale me?
Because it was funny.
He just sits there and he just stares at you with his angry fire in his eyes as he's trying to search.
Mhm.
I don't know. Because I don't know you.
Then why did you kill me? As Dollhouse's hands go limp on you, as his entire body just limpens.
He's just confused as he looks at him, and he's kind of like, because you're still stuck to him on his
Mhm.
spike, so he's kind of shaky, shakes him a bit. So he puts it down to the ground as he kind of uses his foot to pull him off of himself, and he goes to check his
God.
pulse.
The sounds it makes as you literally push him off your arms with your foot is unpleasant, as you're fairly certain at least several internal organs you pierced. As you go for his pulse with your extremely blood-covered hands, yeah, there's none. He's 200% dead.
Great reaction.
I wanted him at his 100%. Instead, he just willingly let me kill him. Odd. Especially considering the way he... He's gonna he's gonna take his body, and he's gonna take him up to the side, and he's gonna kind of like, set him up.
Mhm.
He's gonna go to the other side of the alleyway, and he's just gonna sit and watch him. However long it'll take, he's just gonna sit there and watch him.
Fair enough.
All right. He's just wow. Okay.
Okay, look, this guy Axel is actually a little bit smarter than Ron. He's
Uh-huh.
curious now because why? Why all of a sudden just let him kill him when
Mhm.
if he is who he says he is, that he was his teacher? Why would he allow him to do this? There's got to be something more to it. So he's gonna keep an eye on his body. That maybe something to do with his quirk lets him reanimate himself or something.
Mhm.
You know, all these ideas are going through his head as he's trying to piece together just what the fuck.
Yeah. You sit there for quite some time. Like literally, the sun overhead, like it turns from nighttime, slowly turns to day. His body just kind of. Well, Dollhouse, would your body at this point like start changing into more of the doll itself, like turning
It
into?
would again. The thing with jump characters is that they take over a body.
Oh
It's
yeah,
decomposing, my dude.
yeah. It's not smelling great. He's it's a dead body. It doesn't look to be coming back. It's it's just a dead body that you're staring. And
Okay,
you
so,
continue to stare at it for probably the rest of the day, honestly. Uh,
so
as
he's trying to piece together.
Mhm.
He knows about jumpers, and Axel kind of learned a little bit about it from
Mhm.
the two that he knows of. They explained some of it of how it kind of works to him.
Mhm.
So he's just like, because I'm pretty sure that they would have explained it to him that when they die, they get sent back to the world that they came from, right?
Mhm.
So he's just weirded out, like, why would he let me kill him and end his jump so soon if he is? Because only jumpers would know about other jumpers.
Yep. So I'm
So he's
assuming
trying.
you just don't sit there and contemplate this like the next.
Yeah, he's just sitting there contemplating why he would do that.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, you legitimately just sit there for many hours on end, just staring at this decomposing body, staring at this face, trying to understand everything
Is he
going
still on
on.
campus?
No,
No, no, no.
they're quite off campus.
They're
Okay, good.
far away
Yeah.
in a back alley, so to speak, as well. So,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty sure the smell would probably catch someone's attention after a while.
Yeah, it's a back alley, so eventually they're gonna be caught. But as is now, you're just dead of night to early morning. You're just kind of sitting there. As you're saying that, we're gonna move over to Roasted here, as he's finally recovering.
Also,
Um,
huh? What?
How you keep? Yeah, so Dollhouse just got impaled and murdered in a back alleyway.
I don't fucking understand.
Good.
I'm sure it'll all make sense in time.
I'm glad we're playing some intrigue in here. Yeah.
My head can't process. But anyway,
Good. That made some doing my job.
Yeah, so because I'm trying, because like player me kind of understand. I actually know what's going on here.
He's
I'm trying to play it where Axel, he's trying to figure it out. I'm trying to logically come to a conclusion how to get him to the conclusion that I have without metagaming.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, for youth's sake, I just want to bring up the point. It's like, if it makes you feel better, you know, he's no longer going to trigger your PTSD. You got that going for you, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Watch it
it's
together.
true. Oh.
So yeah, Dollhouse just got impaled by Axel, and now he's laying in a back alley, decomposing as his dead body, just kind of laying there and sitting there. Yeah. But yeah, so moving back to Rosa here, your eyes are slowly starting to adjust now. You're starting to come to terms with everything. Diana is helping you and stuff. As the day is kind of rolling by, we're gonna do a small jump here. Just to a next couple of days or so ahead. You're probably just trying to get into order with your brain, trying to help her out with a bunch of things. It's a fairly slow couple of days, honestly. But you eventually get to a point where Diana is hearing that her shipment, air quote, shipment, should be arriving within the next couple of minutes.
My eyes
All
are
right.
starting better.
Good. If we want to, I want to make sure that you're capable of observing every element while we're currently active.
I
Let's
can
go
see
pick up the entity.
I can see colors, and I can see, I guess, sound waves. I guess.
Kind
In
of.
this case, I'd say more like I think ambient energy would be a thing because that hits you rank 5, right?
Yeah, it hits me in rank
Yeah.
5.
So I'd probably say being able to see a person's aura. Does that sound about right, Sin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see the natural aura of an individual.
I can see aura around you, Diane. I can see some like energy field, I guess, around you and around my body in a way.
Hmm. Try not to look too close when someone's using too much of their power at once. Then, don't want you to accidentally get flashbanged.
Okay. Is there any way I can turn it off for like when it rings back, or is it just permanent?
You can switch it off yourself, or at least you should be able to.
Yes. He switches it off.
Takes you a few minutes to kind of understand the properties behind trying to like switch that off, but you eventually get it. It's not a super difficult process once you start being able to latch onto it and understand it.
Ooh. I feel like a train that just went across the Jersey Desert.
Not sure I understand the parallel, but all right. You ready to pick up our new entity, I suppose?
Yes. How's your arm, by the way? Is it better?
It's back to normal functionality. I'll be taking careful around that electric friend of yours from now on.
I remember he's used chaotic lightning a bunch of times. Good thing. It was an interesting semblance that he had, but, oh boy.
Yeah, dangerous.
But anyway, let's get to work, shall we?
Yes. He should be in the back of the armored car just outside. So,
you
yeah,
guys
you
head
step out
over.
into the more open area. There does appear to be an armored car designed for prison transport, just a little ways out the way.
All right, he rubs his hands together, and you can see a creepy smile form on his face, kind of like just creeping up in the chin area. Let's get to
Sin,
work.
Yeah.
Sin, do you want me to handle the whole description of
Yeah,
everything?
let's do that.
Okay.
Actually, let me flip this
She
around.
strides.
Let me flip
We are
this
very
around real
professional
quick.
with art.
Yeah, we're the most professional. How do I flip this thing around?
Got to give that a 10.
Okay, I can't flip this thing around. So I'm just
Yeah, we'll just say that she walks around to the other side. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
okay, yeah, that works.
Or not.
That
Apparently,
worked,
it's a
that worked.
pickup truck,
Yeah,
forklift looking
fine,
thing now.
yeah,
Okay.
There we go.
Make up your minds already.
There we go. It's perfect. It's fine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's fine. It's perfect. Don't worry about it. There we go. Middle screen. It's fine. It's fine,
You know,
boys.
though-
It's fine.
Roll sense.
It is clearly not
Me?
fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And now my sense is 5, so I gotta add a +5 to mine, don't I?
So let me just change
Well, you
it real
switched it
quick.
off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Okay,
you
I
did
switched off.
switch off. So.
I switched off, so let me just roll regular sense then.
Yep. Ooh.
Oh, geez.
22. Before she opens it, you notice a peculiar irony smell in the air. The latch is undone, and well, you don't really need hyper enhanced senses to see what happens next, as the pristine white coat she wears is dyed a deep, almost black scarlet as she opens the doors, and a small wave of blood pours out from the inside of it onto her and her legs.
Kinky.
She pauses.
Ugh, jeez. What the hell did you order? Don't tell me it's rotten Chinese or something.
I think she's got a blood fetish.
We
Do
won't
you-
be using this one for your experiments.
Okay.
Do you look in?
Yep, he looks in.
there is a body. There's also a lot of skin. These two things are not connected to one another. The skin is sloughed off in a pile off in the corner, pinkish, in an odd hue. Specks of blood are across it, but despite the blood around, the majority of the skin is still clean, almost like it barely splashed about at all. The majority of the skin is unbroken, in fact. Only a few key points appear to have been carved open. Despite that, the entire body has been flayed. You can see the exposed tissues and the musculature, but the most standout thing is across the various tissues of the chest, there's this stitching. Red text made out of thread sewn into the body that clearly says, Jack's back.
Wait.
Ah, fuck!
Wait a minute. Jack's. He looks at that.
Oh god, Jack's back! Ah, Jack's back!
Are you saying? What does it mean? Does he realize this, Sin?
Jack's
You're reading it, and the only thing you can tell from it is that does say Jack, and it's in red thread on body.
Yep.
Stitched in.
Oh, it looks like. Well, this was either going to be interesting or crazy. Jack's back.
back!
If that means Jack the Stitcher back.
Oh god.
I was hoping that we'd be able to avoid this. If this really is him, if he did survive it, then it means that Tanya and I are better at our jobs than we thought.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Oh no, did they make him immortal?
Jack was dying years and years ago, but we
Oh,
healed him.
fools, you dumb fucking fools.
We
you
restored
dumbass.
his body. We gave him not flesh, but you notice that she flexes her arm a bit. His body didn't reject the essence. He still retained every scrap of his humanity, even when I stitched in more and more flesh.
Oh, you're the ones who made him what he is.
We're the ones who saved his life. What he chose to do with it afterwards is up to him.
He's fucking immortal now. No.
So this will be interesting. Oh boy, this is not going to end up very good for. I think neither the heroes nor the villains at this point.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
You said that you would assist me, yes?
Of course, you helped me with my eye, so why not?
Then I hope you don't mind helping me clean up one of my old messes.
That's fine.
Let's keep this a secret from Tanya. I'd rather she not have to deal with any more of this than necessary. I'm the one who called her in the first
tell
place.
my companions or my ones who I work with at least this info and keep it on the down low? The only one I could probably tell would be Rogue and possibly this new Axel person, who I assume is
Yeah.
on it.
You can likely, if you believe you can trust them, then feel free.
Rogue, I probably can. I've known him for a while. And once he hears this information... Wait a minute. He puts his hand up to his hand. Oh, this also might give me more opportunities to even question that... Well, did I know her name?
Akia. Yeah.
Akia.
Yeah.
This also might give me a chance to question Akia more if possible. Because if Jack is back, and from what she's told me, she's going to have extreme PTSD. Oh boy. But yes, I'll help you clean up your mess. But
Good.
we probably should also let Johan know about this as well, shouldn't we? Or not?
We should.
All
I'd
right.
like to make one thing abundantly clear.
Hmm?
This is Jack, And if you can bring me his head, living or dead, I do not care. I don't
If
care what request you make, what blood or flesh. I'll give you my fucking arm.
you don't need to give me your
Terminate him.
Oh, believe me, I will. He will be tough, but I will see what I can do. If I manage to bring you his head, I will. And besides, to me, he's not even a villain. He's a psychopath.
As long as he's a dead psychopath, I don't care.
I'll definitely
have-
have to get up to Rogue about this, and Johan, and possibly Axel. Looks like hopefully when everything is over, we might be going on a manhunt.
Yes. I'll have the cleaners handle this mess. Investigate what you can, take advantage of your new-grown senses. I'll be doing research inside of my lab. I'll see if I can't track him down utilizing the certain sensors. There is one more demonic entity in this city, but I don't imagine you'll trip too many of them.
Very well. I will keep a lookout. I guess you want me to help you with this, and then after this, I'm going to call Rogue and start my search for Jack.
Yes. The sooner we find him, the better.
Very well. All right. I'll help you with this. He then just... and then he looks around. Do you have a hazmat suit, by the way?
I have several. What size are you?
XXL.
All right. She snaps her fingers, and a small creature seems to rise up out of the blood of the dead convict. Oddly enough, as it manifests, you note that it seems to crawl on 4 arms as as a series of eyes open up across its spherical back. It will grab you the suit. As for the rest of them, she snaps her fingers again, and the blood begins to the mouths begin to manifest all across it before she shuts the doors. The truck begins to shake gently as you can hear very hungry noises from within it as she begins to walk back into the warehouse.
All right, that's an unpleasant thought.
Yep, and he gets ready while he's ready. He's picking up the phone.
Mhm.
And I guess we're about to end it.
Yep.
And he says, I guess Rogue picks up it, I guess, in a way.
Yep.
Rogue, it's me. We've got a problem.
All right. And with that, hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I have so much intrigue in this episode. I'm just bringing so much to you.
There's too much shit going on. I got the mystery. I gotta figure out how to get Axel to figure out what the fuck Dollhouse is up to. Fucking Jack's back. Help!
I am so happy I am bringing up so many different plots here, because man, that's gonna be beautiful. Next week, I will be mentioning on the heroes what is going on. So if you guys are interested in this, please go and watch us next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. PST. If you guys want to see some other stuff like random art streams that we're going to be doing or gaming streams, click the follow button on our Twitch, because we do it very randomly. The schedule we have is our tabletop streaming schedule and our half-a-boyfriend voiceover. So if you guys want to see that, you're welcome to as well. If you guys are on our Twitch, go ahead and look inside the chat. You guys can see our social media there, and look in the description of our YouTube if you guys want to see our other social media as well. And we will see all of you fine folks on the next episode as we continue this hell ride. Bye.
I don't even dare cheat.
Let the manhunt begin.
All right.